So hello there and welcome back to another video of mine. Today I want to explain, well, making floating stuff. So you can make, for example, sand float like this, but for stuff like, I don't know, torches or so, it's a little bit more difficult. You need headless pistons for that. You can make the upwards facing headless pistons that we'll use today just like this. Get a TNT on top of a slab and then just, well, break it, and then you have a upwards facing headless piston. You can have the same setup just with a sideways facing piston right here and this slab right here. That will work as well with the same timings. Okay, another thing that you can do to make two sideways facing pistons is exactly the same. So you can just do this, and then you have a line upwards of those headless pistons. I also made in a previous video, I don't know, like 2 or 3 months ago, this machine right here, and this machine can generate upwards facing headless pistons. Okay, good. Now let's get to the floating stuff. So what you have to do, essentially, is you have to have something that can't work. So you can't pull this slime structure right here because it's obstructed by this piston. Yeah, good. I actually am still not quite sure if this will also work. Maybe let's test that. So you can place then a torch right here, and then yeah, okay, good. This doesn't work. Now we know it. Okay, so this doesn't work. Good. So you'll have to have a stopper block, just like that. And then you can make, for example, a floating torch, just like that. This setup is quite useful for making floating ladders, for example. I think floating ladders are probably the most useful of them all. Useful, well, is it actually that useful? I don't know, but it works, so you always have to have a stopper block when the slime block structure is not at 12 blocks. You can also, of course, expand it to be 12 blocks or above. That all works. And then just like that, you can make floating ladders really easily. Funnily enough, Minecraft doesn't really check updates from all sides, just from the side the block is sitting at. That means you can just place ladders on both sides and have floating ladders right here. That's pretty cool. That's not really possible with torches or something like that. No. It's not a full block, so you can't put torches on torches here. It doesn't work. Okay. Another cool thing is that some redstone components also don't update when they get activated. Let's see that in action. Let's get a lever, for example. It also works with buttons. You can have a lever here, and something like this right here, and then just power this, and the lever will get floating to a floating state. And you can still activate it actually. Actually, my game is right now lagging. That's not too great. But you can get an output from this as well, from below, for example. And that won't update it at all. It will still just be floating, just like that. Okay. I can also show that this also works with buttons. With every type of button, of course, so that all works. So let's get a button, for example, here. And that also works. So you can also get an output from this, but it's a little bit delayed right now, but that's just my lag. Okay. Then another cool thing is that you can make floating roller coasters with this kind of feature. Can you say it's a feature? I don't know. Probably. I don't know if it's too useful. It's probably not really useful, but whatever. You can still use it. Let's just make a 16 long roller coaster here. You can even with normal update suppression, I think. Does it work? I don't know. Probably. You can even remove then the power source. From Rails. You have Rails, for example, right here. You have a power source here on the side always, I guess. And then you can, for example, get some slime. Get some slime right here. And just break everything. And just like that, got some floating rails. And you can actually also have a minecart on there. So if you get a minecart, normal minecart even, and hop into the minecart and go on a ride on your floating roller coaster. It's a little bit weird, but it works. Actually, you don't have to use a redstone block every single block. Isn't really needed, but you can if you want. Probably looks better than one redstone block every, I don't know, 10 blocks or something. Oh, good. Now, this can work with everything. So if we, for example, also get a coral here, I don't know, can also make corals float. But this works essentially with every block. I haven't seen any block that didn't work. And it also wouldn't make any sense if a block didn't work. You can also make corals float like that, which is also pretty cool. Yeah. With the normal trick, so with this as well, you can actually also make anvils, for example, float. That's also always a pretty cool thing. And we'll maybe make, some automatic floating machine or something like that. So let's get some anvils. Probably have seen this in a lot of cases already. This works. Floating anvil right there. Cool. Okay. I guess that was it. You now know how to make floating stuff in your own survival world. I don't think this is very useful at all, but oh well, it's fun. You can make some, floating block museum. Good. So thanks for watching, and until the next time.